is a 1,136 Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like sponsor from Mashiach Mother Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please come be directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Simon Kuf Yud, the test is Sif Chav Vav. Good test. In Kavua, when it left the place of its static locations in front of us, also I feel it's also even if it's not a piece which is suitable to give the guest. Shari Suffolk is the Torah because it's Suffolk the Raisa. No, but the opposite, if it left the static locations not in front of us, she said when it's found before the stores, she's probably Sif Yud, which we explain in Sif Yud. You follow the majority of mutaris, it's permissible. I feel even if it's a piece which is suitable for guests, it is permitted. When it's found, we say definitely it came from the majority. The chatichel is kabed in a mixture. Because something significant, they said it should not be nullified. It's not because of bittul that we allow this. It's an individual piece. Rather because anything which separated from the majority. And furthermore, in terms of the prohibition of kavua, we never follow significance. The only criteria is a way which judges is whether it's separated from the original location in front of us or not. Even though we'll learn later in the simon that there is such a concept as an Issa Kavod Rabbanan, which involves a Chatichel Iskabit or any other significant things. It's because they're afraid you might go and take from the Kavod, which is Isser Nikrim Koma, because you can't distinguish the Isser in its place. This is considered the Kavod Rabbanan, Kamoshi's Barb Siat, as we shall see. But when the Isser is recognizable, discernible in its place, in which case it's Kavod Raisa. We're not afraid he's going to take from the Kavua. We're not dealing with wicked people. It shouldn't be astonishing to you that we have something which, when it's dealing with Kavua Rabbanan, it's usher. When it says doing Kavua Raisa, it's mutter. Follow the rationale. That is what we show him right about this topic. Boston Treifa, 9 stores sell kosher, and 1 store sells treif. The Arukh HaShulchan took 3 pieces from 3 stores. Those who say the Hochim B'Zacha Rav. We also found majority here. If we know they're not Chatichel Iskabed, but the Issa Barov, the Isser is nullified in the majority. If they are suitable to present the guests, ain't no batel, it's not batel. That's the prima gaudium. Karni Arcane. Seems it's the case. Though you do a lot of sheish kan shnaim shel we still know that 2 of these pieces are mutter. Why shouldn't this third one be nullified? Okay, different Mr. Vadai. So different than any definite history, which is batel. Makam kam learn the early came. Obviously, according to this presumption, we're talking about we know that you went to the 3 stores, each one, and 1 piece in each store. So therefore, you have a Taireves issue, not really a Kavua issue. But that's still pre-regarding. Arukh HaShulchan is not so happy with this. This is the case. Since each time you took from Kavua, each piece has the status of Safek Isser. Even in the 1 piece, there's a majority to be matter. 2 chances out of 1, out of 3, 2 chances versus 1 chance, they came from the mutter place. Torah said no, it's a Safek Isser. What difference make is 1 piece or 3 pieces. We can say it's possible to say, on the other hand, that Torah only made the decree of Kavua in a place where, even if it's a far-fetched scenario, now it could be that the piece is also like 1 piece. You can't, it could be for the minority. But 3 pieces, and 3 different stores. It's not possible 3 are also. Lokas the Torah did not include that in Kavua of Tzarchim. Unclear. The die, you should know this, that she's by the Minta Acharov, and when you find a piece, you go after the majority Mutzar, permitted Zelmikar Din. It's going to the strict letter of the law. Also, Chachamim Basar Yisrael Minayin, which is have a Simakam, but today it's not practical answer. Because Rav made a Gzera, and which we follow today, that any meat which is hidden in the eye is hidden from the eye. The time was not recognizable, and it was not being seen or safeguarded as it should be. Also, they answered any meat found in the marketplace. Now, in a case where the Basar Shnei is mutter, according to the details clarified in Simon Gimel. Mutter Peish Mehila, it's permissible also when it's separated on its own accord. When a person does not take directly from the Kavua. And in this scenario, we can sustain the principle of when it's found, go after the majority. Rama writes, that would just say that everything came away from the majority. That's not separate from the original location in front of us. If it came out of the original location in front of us, we see where non-Jews taking out so if you took it from there with your hands. Usually my question is what the Rama is telling us here that we didn't know. So that is the primary halacha of kavua when it's separated from its original location in front of us. It didn't separate in front of us. It's not kavua. What's the Rama telling us which you didn't know? So Rama is really telling us, says Arukh HaShulchan, something very great indeed. He named Margla B'Fikah Poskim. It's customary, habitually stated by all the Poskim. Kavua the rice of Gamin Lokach B'Yadam being a kavua. Kavua the rice is him, you didn't take it with your own hands from kavua. Elo Rakim Pirshim Lenu, even if just separated from there in front of us. Well, it seemed we learned the primary source of this halacha is from the fact that you lay in an ambush and you rise up against him. There you're tossing a stone into a crowd. But doing it indeed with your hands. And this seems to be a simple understanding of the Brisa, where it says about the 10 stores. You took from one of them. You don't know which one you took. It seems we find the first thing that if a mouse came and took, the Danim said in Kavua that the din of Kavua applies. First, so explicit, even you didn't take it with your own hands. Danim said in Kavua that Allah Kavua applies. The we say with the realization and this is true also from the end of the case of 9 stores, where it's learned where it's found. Found majority. It sounds like even you didn't take it in your own hand, it's Kavua. Look at the Shemura being a busted fake, because otherwise it's also a Chiddush. That's not to be found. Even we saw it leaving the place of the Kvius in front of us, it's still mutter. Base. This relay came, the Kabud, the rice, and there evidently there are Rishonim. Or that Kabud, the rice is only when you took in your own hands. It's the Ran in Chulin. But you didn't take it in your own hands. We see it being removed from the static locations. In the Kabud Rabban, it's only Kabud Rabban. So you got to be Achbar. Remember saying the Kabud Raisa in terms of the mouse taking from the piles of Chametz and Matzah, it's really not Kabud Raisa. So I have to say according to this only time, it says if you find it, you follow the majority, not where somebody else took it in front of you. Because in that case, even the Rabbanan is mutter. Who borrowed the time when the came of Kabul Chidushu, and it's clear the reason is because since Kabul is a Chiddush, and Kabul Chidusho. You have to limit it to whatever the Chiddush tells us. The Oravlo, like the case of laying an ambush. Thus, the mice you have to be doing a deed with your own hands. That's the Rana. It seems everybody argues in this. I was feeling that Torah looked beat me much, not the other. Torah doesn't care if you took it in your hand or not. No lad, but rather the primary issue is that the suffix arose in the place of the kriyos. That's what Rama tells us in Pirush Vanenu. If it's separated in front of us, or he sees that an angel took it, it's as if you took it in your own hands. Akal Shana, Kumar the Kamze, we cover the Raisa. There's also Kabul the Raisa. Chav Gimel, V'da, you should know, Shishnim Perak Ches, Reish Perak Ches Zvachim, we learned for 8 Perak of Zvachim, Kol Zvachim, Shishnim Arbu, all the Kabbalas, Shishnim Arbohem, all Kabbalas which was mixed in one of them, Echad Mechatos, one of the Chatos which must die, Oshoras Litzko, an ox which must be stoned, even 1 in 10,000, Muslim they have to die. Let's make let's mevatel them barob. Sorry, it's by Chaim Chashiv lo batli and answers that animals are significant; they're not nullified. And it goes on to say that to draw one from the mixture and say, well, it came out from the majority. Also, it's also mission have a kavua because it's kavua. We have a kavua remains 50-50 suffix. When I ask, okay, so let's let's compel them to start moving. In other words, compel them to scatter. Now when they're scattering, it's not from a kavua, it's from a fluid rove, and let's say it's coming for kol parshim u'parsh. That's shum kavua, and the answer is on account of kavua. We'd make a decree lest you come to take from the kavua. It's not kavod deraisa. Kavod deraisa ain't elok she'isa nikam kama kol tir shacharios. It's only where you can distinguish the prohibited location, object, and its place. Over tir shacharios, 9 stores. But you have an issa which is mixed up in heter. They're not distinct. They're mixed together. Ain't bezek a kavua shelter. There's no kavod deraisa. But the brav. It's nullified in majority. Kavod Rabbanan. Still Kavod Rabbanan. Called the Arukh HaShulchan. Shena Bata Machmas Chashibas. Anyway, the Chachamim said it's not Bata on account of its significance. Called Bali Chaim, such as animals, Chatichol is Kabit, and a piece which could be suitable for guests, Ubiria, and a whole limb or animal. Nasa Zeshen Kavod gave it the name Kavod. Both agree with this. Comes out. Let's cause them to scatter. The name of the report say comes from the majority. I mean, it's talking about where it did not separate from the original location in front of us. The it came from the static location in front of us. It's as if you took it from the place of the static locations. Zell al Yisod Shekosam the space in principle he wrote the low main of Shito Biyad doesn't have to you don't have to take by hand or be considered take from the Kabua. El Kosa something known Mamaka because anytime the suffix begins in the static locations, have it another Biyad it's as if you took it in your hands. Though you can say Cambridge is a Rak Kabud Rabban, since all you can say Kabud Rabban like Chacham is that, perhaps not be Machmir, Kokach to such an extent. That pre-should be for tape and that it's separate in front of us as if you took it in your hand. Become lonely, the rabbis don't want to say this. If he's there, according to this, she's Barbadin Siemens. According to this, going to say all the laws in the simon, never if one falls out of the mixture, is lost in the mixture, enough of them fell into the sea, or Necho is eaten, Matir at Tarobis. The entire mixture is permitted. Much as we shall indeed see. But that is only when the separation that happened in front of us. If you don't have a kavua, if it happens in front of us, it's kavua. It's like 50-50. V'od is bar b'zeh b'siyat Ishmael, supposed to be explained later on. Chav hey, sorry. Chashalu, Harishon came to them, kavua d'Rabbanan. Since we say kavua d'Rabbanan, we don't permit it unless you come to take from the kavua. They asked even when one came out because this Gezerah and Kosh came Kabod Daraisa. So it certainly be a case by Kabod, certainly should be the case of Daraisa. How you can say if you find it, you got the majority. Let's make Gezerah, unless you come to take the Kabua. The answer to Adra, by the contrary. Kabod Daraisa you can come out in the Kabod Daraisa where the Isser is distinct in its place. Logo the other, we're not concerned. You might inadvertently take from the Isser in your hands. The Labishriska, not the wicked people. Only by Kavod Rabbanan, Isser Murabater, when the Isser is mixed up in the Heter, but that goes to Shem Kachman Kavod. That, they made a decree, he might come take from the Kavod. Since Rabbanan, people don't regard it with the same severity. She is a butter rov heter. They'll say that this is really butter on the rov of heter. He said, according to the Chol Dvarim She'ein is bodily, anything which is not nullified. Computer like a whole limb or animal. V'chatil is garbage and a piece suitable to give the guest. But the question is significant. Ubali chaim and live animals. Shenis ariv echad me'advarim elu tok elef shel heter. When one of these things gets mixed up even in 1,000 of heter, nesu kulam, they all become usher. I feel pirish echad metarobas, even one thing came out of the mixed, the lo pirish vanenu, and didn't come out in front of us. Hayalon amar kol pashim, we say it comes to the majority. The kavachomer kavod the raisa. Certainly, it's a kavachomer from kavod the raisa. We could say kol the parish. Come kol the message from gzeira. Shavi kavana kavua. Since it's a decree, they might come to take from the kavua. Kaviyamiki kavod the raisa. It's worse than kavod the raisa. His scheme is that rush for two roba basav. The Russian Torah Muslims Rabbeim agreed with this. The Zelshit does see about places. It's also being the re. If he's actually it's Arab be'eder be'em achas shel safek jusa. I mix them in a pack of animals, a herd of animals. One animal just a big juice, and not sure if it was inappropriately bitten or punctured in some way, shape, or form. Ain't shum heter l'chol heter. You lose the whole pack, the whole herd. If you especially even one left, it's still usher. Chav yeshmi is chavav. Yeshmi is saying it's los relukain. Those rabbis do not hold that way. Where they said the rabbi kachim goes to Chazal Shem Kabul. Only by kachim. Chazal said no, unless you can't take from the Kabul. Not by anything which is mundane. Even don't throw distinction in chulin and kachim. Nevertheless, there's no proof in there. The says shomer gzeir Shem Kabul. That which it says is the decree that you might come from the Kabul. Eino ella b'vayich chaim. It's my live animals. Sherotz atir idei the nichmashinim yodayim done might be permitted on account of our scattering them in our hands. To separate them. But says Shapir, and this it says sensibly, the imata matira she free him biyadayim, allow him to separate with his hands. After you told me yadim in a kavua, also can take from kavua. Hamakam shaloifi biyada, place where you didn't separate with your own hands. It's possible that's when they scatter it on their own. Like they akum shaloifi by non-Jew, not in front of us. So to any mixture is not possible, even 1,000. When it leaves the place of the mixture, not in front of us. I mean, call the parish, we say call the parish. Like we said, the raisa. So shitas or be'atam shiltas for Rashba is going to say be'atam shiltas, so in the Rashba can seize the point. Okay, and that's it for today. Hope something will be tomorrow.